Yes, finally, justice has been served. The Moroccan national team has been beaten by Senegal. Well deserved. With all the manipulations, with all the what Nigerians call Ujoro, the Senegalese national team has shown the Moroccans that they have nothing exceptional. They can't play more than what they can play. I remain with the thought that Morocco should have left this tournament in the round of 16. They are not good enough, just like every other North African side that went to this Afcon, Egypt, Algeria, Tunisia, they were all not good enough. As a matter of fact, Morocco was actually one of the worst of them all. And bad officiating brought Morocco to the final. I repeat, bad officiating brought Morocco to the final. Even in the final, there was also still bad officiating. Because tell me why there was a corner kick and you are shoving against each other as players, and all of a sudden you force down under the pretense that you were pushed harder, and then the player who you're struggling with went on and nodded the ball into the net. And because you fell down under that 50-50 shove, the goal was disallowed. Tell me how. Tell me as if you were going for the ball and then he pushed you away. As though you were going to knock the ball and then he knocked you away. No, you didn't even look at the ball. You were not even looking at to defend the ball. You were only looking to push him away from getting to the ball. And he manages to shove you aside as you were pushing him. And he went for the ball and scores, which you were never going even to go and defend against the ball. And he scores. And what happens? Referee calls it a foul. And the goal was chopped off. 10 minutes later, Morocco gets their own corner kick. And then what happens? The corner kick was flown in. And then there was an obvious foul call because the Senegalese defender was holding the Moroccan player on the neck and then somehow flinged him. These are all tactics. But then a penalty was awarded. Now, Senegalese player didn't walk out on the pitch in protest because they thought that was not a foul. The reason why they walked out is we had a goal. We should have stood. You cancelled it. Now someone is having a penalty and you're giving it. So they walked out. And I like to tell you, that stage protest they did was what cancelled all the bribery and corruption that CAF had on this for Morocco. That walkout was a sample to tell the ref that if you do anyhow again, we will walk out and we'll never come back. They actually walked out, went into the dressing room. It was Sadio Mane. Their coach told them to walk out. It was Sadio Mane who went on to call them and beg them to come back. And then they came. Mendy actually called the penalty played by Brian Diaz. When Mendy caught it, Senegal had already protested against the bad officiating. When you do that kind of protest, what it does is it neutralizes the referee, meaning you also have power, meaning you can also protest to the world, meaning you can also question what they are doing, whether they are officials or they are CAF or whoever. That was what they showed. They brought shame on CAF. They brought pressure on the organizers of the tournament. And then from then onwards to the end of the game, the cause has to be pop and plain. And that's why I kind of think if our Super Eagles had done this kind of walkout in the first half of the game against Morocco, which I'm still going to gather evidence for, I'm going to gather the evidence of all the foul calls against the Nigerian team against Morocco in the semi-final. I'll gather it. I'm going to do the video. I promise you that. I'm going to do it. You will see all the foul calls. All of you that were not even in the pitch, you'll see the shady calls that were made in that game just to make sure Nigeria frustrated, and they succeeded. Nigeria's Super Eagles will have won that game without even needing to go to penalties. We had no place in the penalties. We have beaten Morocco like 3-0 if that game was played on neutral ground. But you talk about Nigeria not having shot. How do you have shot on target when if you touch ball in the final third of your opponent, the referee blows whistle, whether foul or no foul, and blows against you? How? I will show you the video clips because I went back to rewatch that match and I've seen a lot of issues bordering on not giving the Moroccans yellow card, nothing at all, flashing the yellow cards on Nigerian players. I will show you all of that. Finally, nobody wanted Morocco to win this because we have said you have to continue like the leg have just given them the cup and forget about the tournament. But Senegal has done it in grand style, and Senegal has beaten Morocco 1-0, and Senegal are the new African champions. Is it well deserved? Of course, from where they came from, I could say it was well deserved. But for Morocco to play them in the final, it wasn't deserved. Another team should have played them in the final if the right calls were done from the starting of the tournament. If Morocco was not favored by officiating, the different team would have made it to the final with Senegal, either Nigeria, either Cote d'Ivoire, even Cameroon, even Mali, or another country would have made it to the final in place of Morocco. Morocco does not deserve to be in the final. I repeat, they never deserved to make it to the final of the Afcon. The only place they had a place in the round of 16, not even quarterfinal. Morocco doesn't have what it takes, if not for bad officiating, to get to where they got to in this Afcon. So I want to say shame to Morocco, shame to CAF, shame to every referee that were used in this nonsense shambolic tournament, shame to every one of you. This is Soccer VP, this is Uday VP telling you, Coach VP is telling you that Afcon football have got to change for good. Else, let's cancel and boycott it. CAF.